Hope all is well. Time to review my annotations, go through the Quran and see what stood out to me during my first reading. So we're in Surah Baqarah and number 6. That's where one of them that I highlighted. As to those who reject faith, it is the same to them whether thou warn them or do not warn them. They will not believe. Allah has set a seal on their hearts, and on their hearing, and on their eyes is a veil. Great is the penalty they incur. And on 16, these are they who have bartered guidance for error, but their traffic is profitless. Oh man, this is amazing. Okay. 22. Who has made the earth your couch and the heavens your canopy? And on 24, then fear the fire whose fuel is men and stones. Just right there. It's fantastic. It's like deeply prophetic. And then on the end of 41, and fear me and me alone. 42. And cover not truth with falsehood, nor conceal the truth when ye know what it is. Yes, don't conceal the truth, reveal it and let others share in it. 43. And be steadfast in prayer, practice regular charity. Again, the charity aspect of the Quran is another very beautiful and unique aspect because it's mentioned constantly throughout the Quran, and you can't say you haven't been told because it is just beautiful. And then, still in Baqarah, verse 110, and be steadfast in prayer and regular in charity, and whatever good ye send forth for your souls before you, ye shall find it with Allah, for Allah sees well all that ye do. Again, those one of my favorite themes, because it gives you hope that there's going to be a day when you don't get ignored, when all the things good you do don't get ignored. And then on 144 and still in Baqarah, we see the turning of thy face for guidance to the heavens. Now shall we turn thee to a Qibla that shall please thee. Turn then thy face in the direction of the sacred mosque. Wherever ye are, turn your faces in that direction. The people of the book know well that this is the truth from their Lord, nor is Allah unmindful of what they do. Again, the Qibla for guidance. Direction, unification. Brilliant. Oh, and then on 158, I have underlined Safa and Marwa. The symbols of Allah. One of the symbols of Allah. And then on 174, it's funny, I just underlined Day of Resurrection, which I think it's funny. Like, I was very focused on that time of like Day of Resurrection. And on 173, the flesh of swine. Oh yes, the famous you cannot eat pork. Yes, no wonder why I underlined that, because it's so famous. Okay, 177. It is not righteous that ye turn your faces toward east or west, but it is righteousness to believe in Allah on the last day, and the angels and the book and the messenger, to spend of your substance out of love for him, for your kin, for orphans, for the needy, for the wayfarer, for those who ask, and for the ransom of slaves, to be steadfast in prayer, and practice regular charity, to fulfill the contracts which ye have made. Again, the fulfilling of contracts is, I really like that. And to be firm and patient. I've been trying. It's very hard. In pain or suffering and adversity, and throughout all periods of panic. Which is very hard. But we're trying, right, family? And then 183. O ye who believe, fasting is prescribed to you as it was prescribed to those before you, that ye may learn self-restraint. Well, I definitely felt self-restraint during Ramadan, that's for sure, because I wanted to eat something, wanted to have coffee, and I couldn't. And that may sound weird to some people, like, that's easy, but that's like my favorite thing. Couldn't have donuts, during the day. And then 185, Ramadan is the month in which was sent down the Qur'an as a guide to mankind. Also clear signs for guidance and judgment between right and wrong. It's exciting. And then 188. And do not eat up your property among yourselves for vanities, nor use it as bait for the judges, with intent that ye may eat up wrongfully and knowingly a little of other people's property. Isn't that a breath of fresh air? Just a breath of fresh air. 194. The prohibited month for the prohibited month, and so for all things prohibited. There is the law of equality. If then any one transgresses the prohibition against you, transgress ye likewise against him. But fear Allah, and know that Allah is with those who restrain themselves. And 195 as well. And spend of your substance in the cause of Allah, and make not your own hands contribute to your destruction. But do good, for Allah loveth those who do good. Brilliant. Isn't that brilliant? It's like going back in time. 204. There is the type of man whose speech about this world's life may dazzle thee, and he calls Allah to witness about what is in his heart, yet is he the most contentious of enemies. 205. When he turns his back, his aim everywhere is to spread mischief through the earth and destroy crops and cattle, but Allah loveth not mischief. Don't do mischief. 207. And there is the type of man who gives his life to earn the pleasure of Allah, and Allah is full of kindness to his devotees. And then on 208 towards the end, follow not the footsteps of the evil one. Do not follow the wrong footsteps. And then on 211, Allah is strict in punishment. And then 212, the life of this world is alluring to those who reject faith, and they scoff at those who believe, but the righteous will be above them on the day of resurrection, for Allah bestows his abundance without measure on whom he will. It's hopeful. It's very hopeful. 216. Fighting is prescribed for you, and ye dislike it, but it is possible that ye dislike a thing which is good for you, and that ye love a thing which is bad for you, but Allah knoweth and ye know not. Ain't that the truth? That's the truth. And then on 220, still in Baqarah, they ask thee concerning orphans, say, the best thing to do is what is for their good. If ye mix their affairs with yours, they are your brethren, but Allah knows the man who means mischief from the man who means good, and if Allah had wished, he could have put you into difficulties. He is indeed exalted in power, wise. In 221, do not marry unbelieving women idolaters until they believe. A slave woman who believes is better than an unbelieving woman, even though she allure you. Nor marry your girls to unbelievers until they believe. A man-slave who believes is better than an unbeliever, even though he allure you. Unbelievers do but beckon you to the fire, but Allah beckons by his grace to the garden of bliss and forgiveness, and makes his signs clear to mankind, that they may celebrate his praise. And then 222, they ask thee concerning women's courses, say, they are a hurt and a pollution, so keep away from a woman in their courses, and do not approach them until they are clean. But when they have purified themselves, you may approach them in any manner, time, or place ordained for you by Allah. And again, I think that's very sanitary and logical. Some people get outraged, but I think just rational people can see the benefit of both sides of having such a policy. Alright, we'll continue more reviews later. Review of annotations, that is.